So, we never distinguished who was going to do the intro. Is it me? Is it you? Is it both at the same time?
I was worried we were talking at the same time and overwrite each other and become one voice. We are Venom. We are the podcast.
That'd be interesting. I think we should make Scott
hive-minded.
Hive-minded, yeah. I don't think Scott should do it. He's too busy rolling for his horsey waifus. I'm assuming that.
I haven't started it yet.
Look, I'm just saying, just put all your money on Ghost Ship or Horror Ura, man. It's either you believe in the dream or you believe in self-violence.
I don't know what the guys are talking about. So once again, everybody, welcome back to Spectator Mode Podcast, episode 196. I am back because Matt yelled at me. He was like, "Get the fuck back on this podcast, or I'm going to come down and find you." I mean, he already knows.
I literally had to do that because Kevin abandoned us so he could pursue his dream as becoming.
I mean, you kept harassing him with Don Cheeto guy.
He didn't want to be like. I told him just shave his head and say Skibbity. How hard was that?
Well, he's not here, so apparently very hard. But the show must go on. So again, we've got Gacilius over there. Mogul, I can't read that. It's too small.
Mogul Tome Grinder. Mogul Tome Grinder. Yeah.
Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah. No, you've seen the streams. Yeah, those streams I've been doing the last two of them, like over 5 hours of grinding.
I can't play Final Fantasy 14. I have Windows 10. Sorry.
Well, the thing is that's kind of like your mistake thing, and you deserve that because I'm
just gonna go Linux. I'm gonna play it on Linux. I'm gonna play it on Linux.
Yeah, I mean you could just play on Steam or consoles. Like I always keep your account. Long story
There's
short,
the thing about playing MMO on a console, but that's just me. And of course, we got Scott, who's like, "Guys, shut up. We got a show to do." And I agree.
Yeah, we got a show. We do want a show to do. Yeah.
But before we do this and our shenanigans, we always talk about stuff we have played and or watched. So I'm gonna go first because I don't have a lot. I got games I'm playing that I can't tell you guys about. So there's that. I still have been playing a lot of Wuchang, Fallen Feathers. I think this is Dark Souls 3 all over again. This is not good. Please save me. Been watching a lot of Sakamoto Days. Really love that show. God, I love that show. It's so good.
It's a good action series.
It's a good series. I got to start reading the manga now. I didn't know how far along it was. I was like, wow. The opening for the new, I don't want to call it new season. No, the continuation of the season is really damn good. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen, all with the subtleness and the colors. It's really good. Definitely check it out. Watched some more shows over again, random shows I watched a lot. I have not seen Fantastic Four. I was supposed to go see it a couple days ago, and I thought it was at 8 o'clock and it was 6, so I missed it. Yeah, that sucks when you pay money for a movie and you don't get to go see it. So
yeah,
maybe this weekend.
Threw it in the void.
Pretty much. This weekend we'll go see it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in a rush. I kind of want to wait for it to come home and I just watch it in the comfort of my own house. So I don't have to pay $20 for a damn popcorn. Yeah.
Oh man, we were talking about that like last episode. With, like price points are so different. Price points are different for every theater. Like my local theater charges $11 a head. That's it. It's $11 for adult, so it's like $7 for kids.
It's ridiculous.
Some places charge 20, 25. It's insane.
So
too old for this, man. You're in the prime of your life.
See all this gray hair? This is called stress.
No, that's called the fantastic. You're fantastic.
Fantastic.
Marriage.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Living in America. All of those things.
Don't catch you slipping.
Man, that's it. I'm gonna move it over to you. Let's see what you've been doing. I know you got a lot, Scott.
What I've been
you
up to.
Always go last. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. You can check out the streams there. I've been streaming a lot of that. I managed to this week to play continue the playthrough of Kathy Raytoon Soothsayer with Summer. Lovely person. Always great to collab with them. We're on day 4 now of the case. So if you want to check out the streams, it's all fun. It's a great point-click adventure game. I played the original and I played Director's Cut, so I've been doing that. Off-stream, everything I stream is there. Off-stream, I'm playing a lot of Super Auto Pets because I need a game to play in between when I'm crunching down pretzels because I'm dying at my job. Shout out to getting promoted. And I've also been playing Guardians of the Galaxy on hard mode. And after playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, I realized this is the game, and I told Scott about this, this is the game I kind of want Veilguard to be. like I understand like that everyone is making simplified action games, but like Guardians kind of did it better than Veilguard. It came out first, and that's kind of embarrassing in my opinion. But hey, and I'm talking mechanically. I'm not talking story here. Story here, that's a different argument. Story, whole different thing. I'm just talking mechanics. I'm just talking mechanically. So yeah. But that's pretty much what I've been up to, and secretly I have a game that I cannot announce I've been playing, but you'll see on stream when I put my new schedule up on the YouTube page. So
what's the game?
I've also the game is called follow me on social media to find out. But I've also been playing.
Get Silius at Twitter, or get Silius at Blue Sky.
Yeah, at Twitter at Blue Sky. Yeah, exactly. Follow me there. Yeah. I've also been with the help of Keith and other people. I managed to get Golden Axe 3 because I couldn't find the game because I suck at look. I'm not a computer guy. I'm a numbers guy. So Golden Axe 3, super fun. It's bringing back memories. I love fantasy beat 'em ups. There's not a lot of them. And it's like, at least all the ones I played are good, from Golden Axe to Dragon's Crown to Absolium. Like I said, my complaint to Absolium is just the clash mechanic. That's it. Everything else is okay. Just don't like the clash mechanic as much because it doesn't feel good. Going hours about why I don't like that mechanic. Hours, days, years, months, time periods. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. Oh, I'm watching. I've seen Superman the movie. That's it. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos. And I want the gabagoo, Keith. The gabagoo.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The gabagoo. Anyway. Scott, tell them what the gabagoo is, as well as get on your the games you've been playing, which is Uematsu.
Alrighty, so I also have games that I can't talk about, but I have also been very addicted to Eden Zero still.
I need to get that when it's on sale.
It's funny because I'm now getting into the min-max period of the setting up characters, which is basically just forcing my characters to get a bunch of attack, a bunch of crit, and a bunch of lifesteal.
Oh my god!
Because you don't really have to care too much about how low your HP is or your defense is, as long as you just do a single attack and get all your HP back.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, it's really fun. Especially because again, I'm still in exploration mode, and there's still so much to unlock. I finally looked up on Steam to see how much, and there's apparently like 700 different equipment sets for the 2 types of characters.
Oh my
which is kind of insane, but that makes sense because I've unlocked quite a bit, and there's still a lot I'm still finding. So I'm just having way too much fun getting some of you get so many different outfits and so many different weapons you can find in the game. So it's kind of crazy, and it's kind of sad when you think about it because other games, you can technically unlock a lot of equipment, but with Eden Zero, a lot of the equipment is also cosmetics. So you get a lot of cosmetics, but all those cosmetics are also tied to different stats you can get, which some are basically just built towards attack, some are built towards defense, some are built towards HP. So it all just depends on which kind of weapon you get. So I've been a lot of focused on that with Eden Zero. I have gone back to Persona 5X just so I can get some of the daily stuff done some more. And yes, the global version has had far less progression than the Chinese and the Japanese version of the game.
Yeah.
So that's caused a big rift in the community, which it should, because the progression system is now basically just not really time gated, but it's gated back towards level. And you don't get as much resources for free like you did in the Chinese or Japanese version. So you basically just are stuck either having to pay money to get resources or waiting. Which is always annoying, which is always fun when you're in the mood to play a game and you have to wait for 30 hours before you can do the next thing.
It's so bad. It's such a weird way of doing it. I would rather just if you there are so many ways to do gacha stuff. It's okay, what if we just have dog, and I read politely, wait, we're we're about a couple minutes, I can say. What if you had dog shit pull rates, FGO,
Yeah.
which, People still play it. The dogs are like, or
people are addicted to FGO, and it's still like the fallen sunk cost fallacy, where you're basically you spent so much money and resources on this game to get like your 1 5-star or your 3 5-stars, or heck, if you spent a lot of money on the paid gems, because in Fate Grand Order, a lot of the paid gems actually increases your rates because you can only use paid gems on paid banners, and paid banners have very high rates. So it's just like you have to be a whale to get good units because it requires you to pay money to get on the good banner.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. Or you could follow the Grand Blue Fantasy method where, all right, what you're really paying for is just cosmetics of your favorite waifu or bundle, only to progress the storyline to beat that story link so you can get the character for free, but good luck grinding for that.
Yeah. I do find it fun when it reminds me of like back when Opera Omni was a thing where you spent a lot of your money on just like the weapons, or a lot on or your resources on just on the weapons, because all the characters and stuff you got through like story events or through doing just events in general. You could just do like collaboration events, and that's why I still think one of my favorite like gacha games to go back to is like Another Eden. Because everything there's no FOMO. Everything, whenever there's a banner, it's stuck there. You are always able to go back to any banner. You can go to any event. You can go to any story, and just get the character, and then just pull on the character banners and the weapons that you want.
Pretty much. And that's kind of a good way to do that. But it's like, I think it's a good way to do that. But there's also the Hoyoverse where you have to like speed run the updates, or else you're left behind.
Or you're left behind, and you can't get the resources you need, because in order for you to get the materials that you need to unlock the newest character, you have to get to like the 5th boss at the end of the event.
Right, which is like, again, like all these gacha games, I feel like, man, do you guys hate me? Like that's the energy, but yeah, that's the way to put it. I mean,
when they did Honkai Star Rail, they actually made it so that if there was like a event, like a boss that unlocked by doing an event, you could actually skip the event and just go straight to the boss to get the resources.
Yeah,
you could go back in time to the event whenever you wanted to actually do the story. That's still available. It doesn't count if the event does get time gated, because some events are time gated and you can't access them.
Yeah, God, it's crazy stuff. Like I said, man, gacha games is own like hustle. Like once you understand how it works, it's over. Like they get you the waifus, they teach you actual numbers and game design.
It's a whole other like landscape compared to like console or PC games. Just because there's so much. Like the thing that I think is going to hurt a lot of console gamers is if they do go into like the gacha system and realize that a lot of like the things you can do in most of the gacha system games are usually free to play, and you can still get a very far margin without having to pay. It's just when you get to like some of the more current content of that game, like Genshin Impact, for instance, if you want to get to like the latest region, you have to do a lot of unlocking of stuff, and you have to actually have a good team to do some of the harder boss fights, and that does require you having some 5-stars that aren't just the free 5-star you get.
Right,
and it's always going to mean less time for the console games and less money to buy the console games if you're going to be spending it on gacha games.
Yeah. At least it doesn't happen for Marvel Rivals. Oh wait, they do. They have limited battle pass skins that happen occasionally. You pay like $10 and you get the skin. It's over for the time frame. They don't last that long. So, like I said, like the gotchification is happening, but like little ways for console games are free. They're gonna get that. It is a very addictive way to make people play games. I still log in to do my dailies for Rivals, even though I probably finished them already. I'm probably gonna do that after this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that right now.
Well, the only other thing is I actually went to go see Superman again because my friend wanted to see it, and so it was fun to take them because we asked them if they wanted to do Superman or Fantastic Four because we were initially planning to just go see Fantastic Four because we didn't see it, and we have already seen Superman, but they wanted to see Superman because it's Superman, so we had to go see Superman.
Did he like the scene where where Jimmy sighed in pain, realized he had to kill this girl. Like, this relationship is over. It's time to kill. Like it's like he turned his light Yagami mode. He's like, that's right. I have the death note. That's I think that was a great scene.
He liked a lot of it, and yeah, he did really like some of the Jimmy Olsen scenes. It was fun.
I'm good. Like the movie. Good. Like the. I got to see Fantastic Four like hopefully this week, but that's a goal.
Yeah, that's my hope, is to see it this weekend.
Yeah, I hope he says it. What'd you say? It's fantastic. What did you say? I hope that means happens.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I already bought the Fantastic Four skins in Marvel Rivals because I like Pedro Pascal. It's nothing to do because he's a great actor, not because I'm in love with him. He's just a great actor and handsome.
He does do, yeah. He's in a lot of things, but it's because he has the acting chops to back those up.
yeah, acting chops. Mm-hmm. Did you know he actually speaks Spanish?
I want to talk about the next topic. Go.
We can get to the topics. That's it for me.
That's it. We get to the next topic. We can't talk. I understand. We can't do the Pedro Pascal podcast.
Let's get to the Pedro Pascal. Well, when we get Pedro Pascal and Don Cheadle, we can have them talk it out.
That'd be great.
So, what's the next topic?
The next topic is going to be, as we are mismanaging this topic right here, we're going to talk about OuterWorlds 2. Is this the next Microsoft Mismanaged Marketing project? This game has a woeful of bad marketing issues that makes me scratch my head and go, what the is going on with these guys? What is going on? Because OuterWorlds 1 is if not one of the best single-player shooter RPG, you get close to get to Fallout without playing Fallout because Fallout 4 sucks. There, I said it. Fallout 4 sucks. Fallout 76 it's a video game, I guess. I'll own that much. It is a video game. That much I will admit.
You can, in fact, put in and play a game called Fallout 76.
Yeah, you can actively tell people, yes, we are playing Fallout 76. And you can say that, and no one will physically harm you. I think that's the best I could say for it.
But let's get to what exactly is the issue with OuterWorlds 2. What's going on
here? There are so many issues with the game. So when the game launched, they were like digital only, and then it was at the everyone's hated price point, like $80, or like $80, $90. The new gamer price point we all hate. Let's be honest, everyone hates that price point. I
don't like the price point. I mean, I don't like the 70 price point, but
no, I don't like that either. Exactly. The new hated price point. I can't even even from a mathematical standpoint tell people, I think it's a great idea because I think I'll talk with Scott off camera, and I probably mentioned to Keith, or I'll say so. Basically, right. Games are being sold now where there's a base game and let's call it a complete version of the game, right? Let's say a season 1 or season 2, whatever.
Deluxe edition, right? Or the
deluxe edition. That's what they call it. They call it a deluxe edition, right? Those price points make no sense when you do the math. I personally think that they should be only a base game and a complete game, and the difference between the price points should be the amount cost for the DLC if you want to add it to the base game. Because if you just play a base game and don't play it after, they're just like, I'm done. That's it. I don't need to do. Get me out of here. So there's that. Then they slash the price down. And like, hooray, everyone's cheering. Hooray. And then another controversy happened. It's like, oh yeah, we heard your complaints and we're selling the game physically. And people are like, yeah, see, they're listening. We're having real change. Hooray. Hooray. And they're not actually doing real change, okay? Let me get this out the system. Nobody knows, and they never stated how much of the game that is sold on disc is going to be proportional to the disc you need online. Is 100% the game on the disc? Then I don't have to go online. And
we don't know. I mean, it's still going to be nice for people who do at least like having the discs, but at the same time, you're right that if it is like a Call of Duty disc that's basically like 100 megabytes of data that's just basically a key of a license, then it's not really much of an actual disc as much as it's just like, there's a license on this disc.
Right, and the crappy part about that even makes it worse. is that like, hooray, it's on the disc. Like, okay, it's how much content's on the disc, and does that include the DLC? Absolutely not. Probably not. And here's what makes it worse: is that like, it's like, what's the point of the disc then? What's the point? If it's not all the content on there, what's the point? But people are like,
let's be honest. Let's be honest. Any game that has been released in the last 5 years or even longer, excuse me, that is a game does not have the entire game on a disc. It literally does not happen anymore.
No.
That's only true for the first party of Xbox and a lot of the third parties. But if you're PlayStation or if you're Nintendo, odds are all the game is on the disc.
Yeah, well, I mean, even when they come out and they go, "Oh, hey, by the way, we've got this massive patch."
Yeah, the day one patches. Yeah, those are still things
for like the entire game.
Yeah,
and it's like, wait, what? Yeah, we gave you the disc, but we also gave you the day one patch, which basically us fixing something that we couldn't get on the disc in time.
Right.
It just makes me funny though when you have like PlayStation, like say God of War Ragnarok, where like the PS4 versions put that like a frame cap on it on the day one patch, but if you don't use the day one patch and put it in the PS5, you actually aren't frame capped at all. So you could get to like 60 frames per second on games that shouldn't have been 60 frames per second.
Yeah, that's the thing too, which just doesn't make any sense. That's why a lot of people are like get the PlayStation 4 version and play it on the PlayStation 5. And it's like, why do I want to do that? That doesn't make any sense.
You don't understand that's the future. And what makes it even more crazier in my humble opinion, what makes it crazy, is that like it takes over the game, and it's like, what's the point? The whole game access right issue thing. We talk about this ad nauseum, and it's like, this isn't really something to be praising for. This doesn't solve anything. Does not learn anything. It's not like, oh, maybe they're doing better. They're not doing better. These are problems that have been happening mismanaged over and over again. And this is, again, OuterWorlds. The critically acclaimed RPG that I recommend everyone playing. It's probably the goated. And it's being mismanaged by Microsoft again. And it's like, what's going on here? Like,
I think it also stems from the issue, if you remember, like it was like closely after the Activision court finally got settled, they had a big range of layoffs, and they had a humongous section cut out where they basically just got rid of their entire publishing department and just outsourced all their publishing. And that's when we started seeing like limited run games getting Microsoft games to be able to publish because they weren't publishing their own games anymore.
Yeah. No, 100% exactly. So it's like it makes no sense in that regard. I think that like conspiracy tinfoil hat on, that this is a perfect example of like, within some gaming circles, back in the day, you go to EA to die. You go to EA to die. You go to Ubisoft. Now people say go to Ubisoft to die. Now you go to Microsoft to die. Like, this is a critically game that is being mismanaged like crazy. All you had to do was sell the game at a somewhat regular base price, STFU, and just make the game not talk about anything else. You could have released a physical version like towards when the game is near being launched, and no one would have cared. Now I have too many questions.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they did this with OuterWorlds 2, because OuterWorlds 1 was actually a smaller project from Obsidian, because it was like a 30-hour game, but it was a really like dense 30 hours.
I mean, if you unlock everything, it goes up to like at least 60 plus. And
you still get like some of the 60, but when you compare it to like the other RPGs of that kind, like time and scope, a lot of them go far longer, and that's one of the reasons why the Outer Worlds went on sale a lot of the time, is because, well, a lot of people didn't really want it that priced up in the full price in the first place. So having Outer Worlds 2 basically be the first trial of this is going to be our $80 game that will ship was just kind of bonkers.
Right, which just also shows like I'll be honest with you, like whose idea why are they still trying to push an $80 limit? Because Nintendo didn't, y'all. Like, no.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. We've talked
exactly.
About
like, I feel like you're just proving to everyone like you're actually stupid, and it's just really bad. Like, to think they're learning from this and they keep falling over their own pitfalls, they're just making their own problems, trying to sell you solutions. And I feel like the stupidity of this is just such a mismanaged in marketing that it makes me lose faith in the project and the game there is. Because, by the way, They made like was Unavowed the peace offering? You can make Unavowed, but you now have to let us manage the rest of your games you sell for one. I don't know. Again, conspiracy. But it's so bad though.
I don't place the blame on Microsoft for 8-hour games. And the reason why I say that, because if they were the only ones doing it, then I could say that. But they're not.
I'm not. The blame is on them. The blame is following the trend. That's the blame. I don't really care.
It's not a trend, unfortunately. That's the problem. Not a trend.
No, that's the thing. They're following it and then pushing it on again. Here's these smaller publishers who have a very strong fan base. Again, I like Obsidian games. Yeah, I'm gonna roll up on you can't do that. But that is like, and I mean very politely, that is like trying to convince everyone who plays Marvel Rivals to pay $100 skin just to see, I hate to say it, Magneto twerk. I'm not paying $100 to see Magneto twerk, okay? I'm not paying for that. Maybe $20.
That's the entire industry itself. And that, again, is another completely different topic because we've all talked about this. And yes, just like you said, Nintendo went first. I wrote an article about this. I went online talking about this. And trying to be nice here, every person who came in was like, you don't have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, but you can't disprove what I said. Nobody went first until Nintendo went first.
Mm-hmm.
After that, everybody's like, oh, $8. And now that people are being yelled at and companies are being yelled at, some companies are going, you know what, maybe this isn't the best idea. The problem I have with Microsoft is they're not just saying, okay, so first of all, it's not just OuterWorlds 2. It's any game they're releasing this fall that was going to be $8, which again, $8 per game is BS, is going down to $70. My issue is you said this fall. So what happens after the shopping holiday is over? Are these
exactly? No, that's exactly we're going to get a price hike, which by the way they did too. Not to cut you off, they did the Game Pass. Game Pass got another price hike. Which by the way, here's another thing why I don't like the game disc thing. As we talked about 2 episodes before, please check out all episodes. We talked about like Microsoft changing how they track numbers. If you're playing a game fully offline, they don't track sales anymore. They track users and active player base. So they're gonna change for one game. They're gonna remove the statistical analysis the way they look at games just for that. Nah, B, it has to be online. This is BS.
It's a mess. The entire game industry is a mess.
No, just that element. Yeah, it's like it bought like this is the next Microsoft Mismanaging Marketing project, like Triple M, baby. They call them. Say it with me, Microsoft Mismanaging Marketing. Triple M. It's another one, and it's like, why can't they just make the game, shut up, put it out there, and then talk about the game later? Do a couple of podcasts talking about the game, get some people to play the game, hire us to come out and play the game. Give a photo of Phil Spencer, and then wash your hands afterwards, because you always wash your hands when you touch people, and then call it a day. Please wash your hands after you shake Phil Spencer's hand. Just always wash your hands.
I mean, I wash my hands after everybody. I carry hand sanitizer.
Just particularly Phil Spencer, just make sure you do double scrubs, okay? Just double scrubs. Particularly double scrubs, all right?
Yeah, but these $8 games, these
$80 games get out of hand.
I told you.
It's not fun.
Once this becomes commonplace, I'm like, yeah,
because they are really trying to push like what's acceptable, like they really are. And
what's going to happen is more people are going to go towards gacha games,
which is exactly people fall down the free to play game models of gacha games, whatever, and it's like, well, now here you are trapped in this universe of mathematical hell.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing is people seem to forget is there's one side of the audience here that is pretty much screwed in that regard, and that is console gamers. You are stuck. There is no CD keys or Fantatic or what it is or Green Man Gaming.
There's been less there because like the fall of GameStop or some pop stores or just selling modern video games because everything's online, blah blah. There has been more price control in the industry. Digital gaming for consoles become, in my opinion, another form of price control.
It is, especially when you look at it where you go get these digital games and they just don't go on sale, and they never will go on sale.
Some don't.
Call that the Nintendo effect, because they just will not go on sale. Like Call of Duty is a great example, always a great example. Buy Call of Duty, it's still $70 on Steam. I can go get it from like CD keys for like maybe $30, $40. And it's like, why would I do this? And this is the problem with console gaming. They are locked. They are screwed. There's nothing.
Yeah, if you're a
there's
digital
nothing-
console gamer, you only got the one storefront.
Yeah, exactly. You get the one storefront, and that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much a nutshell. Yeah, man. And speaking of console gaming, we gotta move on to not move on to the next thing, but move on to the new conspiracy theory. Hope we get our tinfoil hats on this. So people have found out on LinkedIn that Sony has a couple new job postings relating to multi-marketing design, multi-programming, things like that. And a couple of Microsoft people had their tinfoil hats, and they're saying, we're all going to be the same now. The one console unit, the whole standard Microsoft conspiracy stuff. If you've seen any Microsoft fans, they sound crazy. Most of them probably are, but is the tinfoil hat warranted now? Do we have to start listening to them? Because when I listen to them, I feel a bit disgusted because they're Microsoft fans and they say really stupid stuff, insanely stupid stuff. But
I don't know what you've been reading or watching or listening to, but I've been looking at the PlayStation tinfoil hats people instead.
Oh, so you listen? So you look at Microsoft. Okay, that's the thing to me.
I don't think it's wise to look at either of the tinfoil hatters. Honestly,
I mean, let's be honest. This is something that PlayStation has been saying for a while now, that they are looking to expand their reach onto other platforms. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
The problem was people kept saying PlayStation is never going to do this. And
the sad part is PlayStation is doing it in smaller scale, where they'll have exclusive for between 6 to 8 months. Longest been, I think, so far this generation, been a year exclusive, and then ported elsewhere. So you're looking for more developers to make the port faster. That's it.
The problem is, not even a problem.
The situation.
The situation is that people were getting mad on the PlayStation side, which again is very dumb, saying that this once again devalues PlayStation. And I'm sitting there going, how does this devalue PlayStation? I don't understand. What is your logic? Well, if they release their games on PC or Xbox, then there's no reason for us to buy them. And I'm like, by the way, did you know that Forza Horizon 5, the game that you PlayStation people kept saying sucked, is the #1 selling game on PlayStation? Guys, an Xbox game on a PlayStation platform, the #1 game. What does that say about your games right now? Why are you getting upset?
It says a lot. I think it's not really I was getting mad. It's more I was a delusion. It's Sony still has the image of, I'm #1, and in theoretics of pure you can't argue with it. Sure, you're #1, of course you are. Don't tell them about PC exists, but they're okay.
Don't let them know Nintendo's in their space too. No.
Don't let them know Nintendo's in their space, right? You have to do a lot of hand holding here, okay? You got to do a lot of hand holding here.
And when you try and have an actual logical conversation with numbers and reasons,
the thing is that the constant belief is that because Sony, this idea of post exclusivity is something that's kind of foreign to console users, but to for me that I'm PC master race, blah blah, it doesn't bother you because you just play games, right? People just play games. I think that Sony fans and Sony still care about exclusivity because they sell that, but the idea is that we still want to expand our market elsewhere, such as PC. People don't feel that if a game goes on PC, it counts exclusivity, right? But if it goes to the console, when it goes to the console, it does.
It's a very wishy-washy, flip-floppy thing. Before it was, I want the PC, it's not a big deal. Now it is, oh my God, the game's going to PC. What is the problem? Why are they doing this? We can't have this. This devalues the PlayStation brand. And I'm like,
but the thing is, it doesn't really devalue the PlayStation brand. They had it they still exclusive last month. I think. Before they started changing from the current 6-8 month model, I think we didn't get Spider-Man for about not Spider-Man. I think it was Horizon Zero, White Girl Saves the Black Man game. To I don't know, a year and a half later, whatever. It's so that people still feel well, that's fine. It's old, but if I'm doing it to a modern game, that does a different feel. That I think it's all to be honest with you. This is all psychological justification up in the dome, and those arguments I hate because it's how do I trick you to let you understand that nobody else in the other market that they're porting to cares about that. What the other market cares about, particularly PC, is the quality of the port. There are too many people that, like Keith himself, has done PC tests for games, I think for Wuchang and other games. PC tests, does this game well run at AMD? Does it run NVIDIA? Does it run this? Blah, blah, blah. That is a big deal on that market compared to everyone else. Because, let's be honest, you caveman console players, and I respect you, have your fire, unga. You pop the game in, it works, who cares? The rest of us have to make adjustments for that stuff. Did you know I had to learn how to make sure the screens are stretch and blur when I played retro games? That was a thing. I had to learn about screen blur. I had to watch videos on that.
Gotta love the fact that you're playing a 16:9 screen and your games are 4:3, and you're like, "What is going on?"
Right? Exactly.
Why does it look like shit?
It's a whole different market. It's a whole different thing. And I think that a lot of the console caveman people, jokingly, both of course, believe that they're all like, well, if it devalues because they're going to get the same experience. Not really. There's a whole thing. It's like some games play completely different on mouse and keyboard versus controller. God, like there are some games that do. So, like, trust me.
Let me just jump into this real quick. Give me 5 minutes, and I want to say what I got to say about this, because this is the thing. Okay. Again, as I mentioned, they get frustrated. They say that this devalues the brand, and I'm like, this makes no sense. PlayStation is thinking about doing what Xbox is doing. Now, you can argue and say Xbox did it because they were pushed into a corner, and it doesn't matter. End of the day, they are still.
I mean, that does kind of matter. That they're not gonna lie, that does kind of matter. That
it mattered in the beginning, but they're still doing it now. And they're not just.
They're still doing it now and still not getting the results they want, which means that the desperation kicked in. Hence the Triple M that happened the last topic we talked about, OuterWorlds too.
But see,
that does matter. It's
desperation. You say desperation. You say desperation. No, let me finish.
Yeah.
If PlayStation wasn't looking at a certain metric, if they weren't looking at getting more numbers, if they weren't thinking about making a bigger audience, gaining a bigger audience, they wouldn't be putting their games on another platform from the get-go.
Well, that assessment could be made by any third-party thing. The thing is that Sony now has realized, at least in my opinion, they realized that that PS5 launch is not going great for us. We have all these games we're making, and we have done some number crunching. We're not pushing sales. We need to push these sales in other markets.
This is what I've been saying for the last year now, and this is part of my point. Now, the thing
is that compared to Microsoft, they were pushed to a corner that led to the desperation sink that made them make them tumble on themselves. The thing is that one company's pushed by a metric they see. One is pushed by a metric of desperation. Desperation makes the worst of people. And I would say that as an accountant. It does make the worst of people.
I mean, a lot of things may bring out the worst of people. But regardless of what you're saying in that situation, the thing is this: they're still doing it. They see that there's an audience.
You're still doing it coming from that direction. That is the point. It is not they're still doing it. They're doing it from that direction. And they're still stumbling on that direction, as we just talked about in the prior topic.
But we're not talking Microsoft. Get off Microsoft. I'm not talking about Microsoft.
Oh, no, we're not talking about Microsoft. No. This is not talking about Microsoft. This is the point. The point is the direction where it comes from to adjust themselves. Because Sony, for all intents and purposes, are still insanely conservative about this, which everyone is saying, be more aggressive about it. So they're hiring people for it. But I still feel like they're going to be conservative as crap about it because they don't really want to lose the caveman who's like, unga, game mine. How are you going to compete with that?
That's the thing. This is why I said, give me my 5 minutes so I can explain where I'm coming from. So, again, you have people saying that this devalues their brand. Okay, fine. That's their argument. Let them have it. But as you mentioned, people are cavemen to an extent, right? There are people who don't want to leave their platform. There are PlayStation gamers who don't want to leave PlayStation. There are Xbox people who don't want to leave Xbox. This is their platform of choice, whatever. So, with PlayStation, they're going, hey, look, our PlayStation 5 numbers aren't doing what we wanted to do. And they've said this multiple times. We have not hit the numbers that we want. And this is when they started saying, we're going to bring more games to the PC platform. Sure, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months down the road, but they're bringing them over. The fear, which I don't understand, is that What if PlayStation starts bringing out these games a lot sooner?
That fear is somewhat justified, because the thing is that, like, now the only person that has maintained that idea of exclusivity is Nintendo, and people care about exclusivity. People
but here's
care, the thing is, people care about that.
But here's my thing. Here's where I'm coming from that. There are people saying if they do what they're doing, then people are going to stop buying PlayStations. Now, at my point, I'm like, look, PlayStation is at the point. PlayStation 5 is at the point where most people who've already bought, who haven't purchased a PlayStation 5, likely are not going to purchase one now. The people who wanted the PlayStation 5 have purchased them. So PlayStation is going, hey, look, we still want to sell more software. We make our money off of software. We're going to put our stuff wherever we want to put it at. The problem with this is they need to step on eggshells, or not step on eggshells, or step on eggshells so they don't offend the audience. But at the same time, the biggest thing that people don't realize is these companies are not your friend. They will do what they need to do to make their money. Now,
they're in the business of making money.
If you have a million people,
they're in the business of the business,
who own a PC, and they have said to you, we are not buying a PlayStation. We've seen this with Final Fantasy, the remake. They've said, we're not buying this for PlayStation. We will wait for the PC version. There are people who say this nonstop. We will not buy the console version. We will wait for the PC version. Square Enix knows this very well. So now they're like, we're going to bring this game out on the PC same day it's the PlayStation. Or we're not going to take as long as we did before, because we realize we're not making any money. PlayStation can easily go, hey, look, maybe we'll give this game a 5-month window, and then, all right, now we're moving to the PC. That gives you enough time to satisfy the people who are on a PlayStation 5, or the people who are like, I might buy a PlayStation 5 for this. And if you haven't bought a PlayStation 5 by the time this game comes out, we'll get it on PC. To me, in my mind, and I could be wrong, at the end of the day, PlayStation is still going to get their money.
More or less. No, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, to me,
and that's where people need to stop getting frustrated at. Like, this doesn't devalue anything. End of the day, it's software.
It doesn't devalue, but like I said earlier, it's a psychological argument, which I don't like making, because at that point you're just arguing people's feelings. Like, how much do I have to give leeway for you to accept that the company, as you said, is trying to maximize profits over other platforms? Now, the thing is, a time frame for that is the best thing you can do, which is the conservative method, because day one release for both them and them will just cause pandemonium for the caveman fan base. My personal opinion is why the time frame is also needed is because they probably do want to test out the kinks, and jokingly, the caveman gamers are probably going to be the beta testers. So when the PC version comes out, I say this politely, it's going to run smoother. It's going to run smoother than my love of doing taxes online.
We assume, but my it's always been my thing when I see these people going back and forth, and they go, "What's your problem if the game does come out same day as a PC?"
I think I think this is the problem you're not understanding from a psychological standpoint. Exclusivity is important to people.
No, I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying is, outside of that, what is a legitimate reasoning? Not hurting your feelings.
Oh, legitimate reason? There is no. Feelings are legitimate. That's the thing. That's the thing. Feelings are legitimate to some people. So
in a hypothetically, just use this as an example.
Yeah.
There's 50 million PlayStation 5s out there. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just use 50.
Yeah, say 50 million.
Is a good number, okay? PlayStation releases a game, and it only sells 25 million copies. Some people don't want to play the game. Say they release the game on PC same date, and now they have access to another platform that has 100 million PC games.
Yeah, give me 100 million units. Yeah, 125.
And 50 million of those people buy the game. Where's the hang up?
That's the hang up. The idea
on the 30% that they don't get back.
The 30% don't get back. No, that's the hang up. That's the part people don't like understand. Like that's the hang up. The idea that somebody else's monetary value is greater than mine, that I don't have what I get first. A perfect example of this is I'll talk about a manga, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is printed by Suing, Shonen Jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dragon Ball Z can be printed on many other platforms too. They can be printed on Kodansha. They can print it on Kodokawa, other books. Those people who are fans of Shonen Jump and like huge Jump fans and Suensha, etc., they're fans of these companies. If Dragon Ball Z got printed those books, even if it made them more money, I would feel bad as a Shonen Jump fan because that was for me. That I put my faith in that. That feeling is what Sony's trying to fight. The psychological thing of that. That argument can never win. That's the hardest argument to ever win because it's like arguing with a kid of I have two chocolate chip cookies and they see another kid with 2 cookies from the same parents. It's like, why do you got 2 cookies? That's a hard argument.
So. Because I said so.
No. That's the problem. No. That's the problem, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You don't understand, but if you don't understand, like as logical as it is, that's what you're fighting, and that's a hand up. That's my hand up on that one.
What you're not getting is I understand that. What I want to say, I'm being polite. What I want to say is get your head out of your ass and face reality. That's what I
imagine telling that to people. Again, imagine telling to people who I would say I'm bought in the sauce, but imagine telling that to people while they believe, or again, this is the thing that I feel like Microsoft fans that have no spine or whatever, is that a lot of people do believe the initial promise of buying products or consoles. Like I bought it, the exclusives for me, I put my money into it. The sunk cost of it means that I get this game. Because I don't own XX or XXX, these games are for me. Because I don't own Nintendo, I don't play Mario. But in exchange for that XX, I get Spider-Man.
I would say, and as somebody who was part of that years and years and years ago, that is a mindset, that is a way of thinking that has come and gone.
Believe it or not, you say it come and gone, people still believe it.
It's basically this. Say a game comes out and you're like, well, because it's for PC now, I don't want to buy it on PlayStation. Okay, whatever. You miss out.
Buy it on PC.
It's literally that. Like,
that's kind of the thing, because people, like I said, some people, like the only thing I'll give credit to Microsoft fan base outside of like a spine is that they're willing to abandon anything to have the conversation. Like the exclusivity argument doesn't matter to them anymore. They don't care about that. What they're trying to say now is that, well, we're on everything now, so I can play my games anywhere, right? But a lot of people, like I said, Nintendo fans and Sony fans, at least would believe in that exclusivity argument, that believe in that tenement. And from a psychological standpoint, it is hard to convince somebody to get out of that. That is like trying to convince me that Tactics Ogre is a bad video game. I will hurt you.
Well, that's an opinion. That's a completely different thing.
That's a fact.
That is an opinion.
If you don't like Tactics Ogre, you're just not intelligent. I'm sorry. The best political fantasy of all time. The best political, I'm not even joking. The one of the goated, multiple endings based on your choices, actual character dialogue, teaches you about political. Like, come on, get out of here. You're not intelligent.
See, that's also an opinion.
Go play your caveman shooters and talk unga bunga your way to Call of Duty, right?
I hate Call of Duty. You know this.
Yeah, that's why I called you. Go back to that. No, but in a very serious argument, right? That level of le passion exists, and people believe in it. I personally do not believe, in my honest opinion.
There's nothing wrong with that shit. But
no. I don't think that's what we're being dumb. I mean, we catch in America. Don't catch you slipping. We live in America. But the thing is that I think that is the hardest sell for Sony, and 90 years down the line, where we become AI robots, for Nintendo to deal with. The idea that the exclusivity magic doesn't matter anymore.
No. So
that's the point.
No, that's never going to happen. Nintendo will be Nintendo. Will have its.
But the thing is that you see people. Look at you. You're defending that, right? And I'm going to cut you off.
No, I'm not defending. I'm just saying facts. That is Nintendo, and Nintendo for some reason is immune. They are immune to this shit for one reason or another.
No. The reason why they're immune to it is because they kept the promise from day one till now, regardless of price points and drama. Regardless of how people Nintendo games and how repetitive they are, or how they just rehash the same ideas, blah, 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 and new generation, blah, 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 and Nintendo fans are blah, 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 blah. They maintain that promise. And that's what's important to gamers, to people. Again, imagine seeing Dragon Ball Z on Kodansha, on a Kodansha print. That would be crazy. That exclusive doesn't matter anymore. People care about that.
I don't know if that's the same, but you got to remember.
No, it's exactly the same thing. Here is a beloved property that is exclusive to one company. Now somewhere else.
I want to remind you something of Nintendo. For those who don't know this, who have not been aware of this, Nintendo did release their stuff on platforms other than Nintendo once upon a time ago.
Yes. Once upon a time ago, when they didn't rewrite the history, it didn't happen. So
and they were doing it again. They were bringing some of their games to
smartphones,
and then they were going to bring them to PC, and then something happened, and they were like, no.
Yes, they did all of that. Just like the things they also done is remind us that 2XKO has an update. They remind us all.
Oh no, not this game.
Yeah, 2XKO got an update. We're getting V.
I don't care.
The boxer character. Yeah, it's too little, too late. It's a goose cooked.
You know that Marvel game from Arc System Works.
Yeah, made by Pachi, by the way, my goat. Pachi, my goat.
So I think 2KO dead. Sorry.
If they released it sometime in the last few months, they would have been fine. Probably.
Fighting game? How about 4v4 fighting game, guys?
Yeah.
With Marvel characters, we got Miss Marvel, we got Spider-Man. The kids love Spider-Man.
And I will say this: just looking at the two games, just visually right now, the Marvel game looks much better. The backgrounds look much
100%.
better. The characters look much better. The damn UIs look much better. Like.
They got their aesthetics down. My only complaint about Marvel Token Soul Fighting Battle Extreme Edition.
Did you not watch the trailer they released today for the?
I've seen it. I've seen all the trailers.
Did you see just a little bit of footage that we saw, and it felt meaty when Captain America knocked the shit out of Spider-Man and sent him reeling backwards, and it came.
That could be a wall break. Yeah, I don't know if it's a snapback or wall break. So from a mechanic standpoint. A lot of people in the fighting game are worried that's wall break. For those who come from Strive, wall break is one of the worst ideas of all time. But we'll see. So I'm worried it's wall break. But the thing that this game does a lot is take a lot of visual ideas from other games, like the slowdown from Tekken, etc. This game is sauce. This game is just cooked. And it's like 2XKO has like what 8, 9 characters, 10. Like it's like so bad, bro. You took so long for like that. Like oh my, and like closed beta and everything. It's like bro. I mean, I know the game is free, but come on, man. People, even for a free game, I got Marvel. We got Iron Man.
To me, it just feels like Rising Thunder lost twice now. For those you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Rip Seth Killian, Yeah. So if you're a fan, it is a little too little. It's a little too late. Things are working on. I mean. I hope there's more news at Evo that can help the game up, but it's like everyone is talking about Marvel.
Marvel's going to be
at Evo. Yeah, Marvel's going to be at Evo. And because Keith don't be at Evo, he's been playing Wuchang for a week. And here's a question to ask for him personally. How does it compare to the Soulslikes? You've been playing it as a review, playing it for weeks on New Game Plus. How do you feel about it?
I like it. I went into this game thinking that it was just going to be another generic Souls-like with a few cool tricks, and ended up being very surprised about what the game does, and some of the cool new tricks it does are actually pretty damn cool. It's up there as one of my favorite RPGs, one of my favorite Souls-like action RPGs, and I did not expect that. Outside of all the fan service, some of those outfits are like, they're learning from Stellar Blade, man.
Some people are going to buy it just for those outfits.
It's like I don't think that gimpy chest piece that shows your cleavage and your ass is going to protect you from a sword. But hey, who am I to argue? But speaking of which, and not me just being who I am, but some of the outfits that did not show as much skin actually looked a lot better. There were some really cool outfits. So leave it at that. But it still has some jank to it. It definitely does. It definitely does.
It's a Souls-like game.
It definitely plays a lot faster than a lot of Souls-like games. And depending on which weapon you use, because the weapons actually dictate your playstyle, it can be a lot slower or it can be a lot faster. I used an axe that I expected to give me leeching life every time I smack the hell out of somebody. So it's pretty much like, hey, keep hitting me and I'll keep hitting you and I'll win in the end. It has a nice poise meters or poise system to it where you can actually stagger enemies, which is pretty cool. including some bosses. The magic system is okay. I say okay because there's a resource in this game called Skyborn Might, and basically to get that, you either have to attack. If you spec a certain way, you can attack and get that, but for the most part, you have to perfectly dodge attacks, which makes you more aggressive. The problem with that is not everybody is really good at being aggressive in this type of game. So I really do think they need to rethink that mechanic, because as I said I said in my review, and I also sent it to the developers via the PR people. I said, what if you're fighting a boss, you're out of health, you need one more hit to kill the boss, you're out of Skyborn Might, which means you can't use your super abilities. What now? Do you try to dodge the next coming attack to get some to knock them out, or will you eat that hit because you messed up?
I mean, you already answered your question. Souls like you lose. Get good.
So I don't like that. I mean, there are ways around that. Like I spec into a magic build where I get something back every couple of seconds, or like every 30 seconds or so. So as long as I can dodge, I can stay out of the way. But not everybody plays like that. So there's that. But I do like the fact that it does give you the tools to have specific play styles. I'm watching people and listening to people do different builds, and initially people were getting frustrated, but as they started playing the game and getting used to the mechanics, they're getting a lot better and having a lot more fun with it. There was one mechanic I really like, and it's called the madness system. So basically, as you're killing things, you have a resource called madness that builds up. And if you die, you get more. If you kill humans, you get more. And eventually it gets to the point where you have so much madness that it dictates what happens to your in-game currency called red mercury. So if you have like a little bit of madness and you die, you lose a little bit of your currency. If you have a lot more madness, when you die, you lose a little bit more currency. If you get to like 100% madness, there's a demon that manifests that you have to fight because it will hunt you down. And if you kill the demon, you lose all your madness and get all of your resource back. But if you lose all of it, all your currency, which makes you go, do I go find a way to cleanse myself? Do I keep going and not worry about it? Do I keep my madness because it also makes you a lot stronger, but at the same time makes you take more damage? Like which do you do? And personally, I like staying with all of it because I was able to get around the fact that, okay, there's a demon, whoop de freaking do. Because the cool thing about the demon is you could lure the demon into fighting another creature. So say there's a strong creature over there that keeps kicking your ass. You can lure yourself between it and the demon, and if the other thing hits your demon, the demon will now fight him. So now it's 2-on-1. Or say you don't want to fight anything and you don't want to fight your demon, you can let the other thing kill your demon, get all your currency back, and then peace out. So there's a lot of things you can do. Aesthetically, it's a beautiful game. And especially on PC, if you have the hardware, it looks amazing. There are some performance issues. Again, that is the thing with PC. Consoles were having a lot of problem with performance, but the developer is working on that. And it came out and surprised a lot of people. I'm a big fan of it now. As you see, I'm on New Game Plus. I'm about to go into New Game Plus Plus. I think I'm going to put it down. And to be honest, I stopped playing a lot of Elden Ring, Night Ring, because they're like, "Oh, we're going to give you the same 3 bosses again." I'm like, "Screw you guys! I've already done all these."
But they got a duo mode now. There's less people you have to carry.
No,
you know?
It doesn't come out until the end of the month. When dual mode comes out, I'll be going back into it.
All right. I mean, it's less carry, so I guess that's what people want: less carry.
So it's. I don't play with people that suck. I leave the games. I don't.
The thing is that the thing is that like that's like justifiable rage quitting. I get it, because trust me, there are games I play in Rivals where I'm like I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say this politely. If you play Jeff in Rivals in my ranked games, I have faith you will lose the game. And then when I look at your stats that are trash, it's like I knew you through the game.
When you're playing Elden Ring and you're playing people, and it takes a couple levels for you to
realize, yeah.
But if you know your character and you know the mechanics and you know what you're doing, even at level 1, you're good. But when you're like level 10 and you're playing a certain character and you're doing stuff that you know you're not supposed to be doing, or you're going to the castle level 2 and we're like, no, what are you doing? Or you're opening up the jails, and by the way, there could be a bad pick at level 2. Don't do it. Or when we are fighting ever jails, and then some moron pulls a world boss over, so now you're fighting things in the ever jail and also the freaking boss, and then you're running around because they're like, we don't know what's going on. Like, guys, just relax, focus.
Yeah. Can we work together?
Right. And you can do that even without talking. It's like, it's knowing how to play the game. Hey, there's the boss and there's a weak ass enemy over there. Kill the weak ass enemy first, or take one person who can kite the boss away from you and focus on the other two. But that's the problem. When I go into a group of randoms that have no idea what they're doing, or they just do dumb stuff, or they don't want to cooperate, I'm out. I'll take whatever penalty they give me, because I'm not.
The sad part is, I wish I could do that in Rivals, but I'll get banned, lose my account, so I had to eat the L. I have to eat the L for my competitive games for that.
Because that's the problem. It's like, is you can't die in that game until you get to a boss. The only time you can die is you get to a boss. So
yeah,
you have to wait till you get to a boss before the boss rapes you, and you go, okay, good, I'm out of thing. Thank God. But there's always a chance where the people that don't know how to play, you end up carrying them, being the Night Lord, and go, oh shoot, what did I just do?
What I just do? No, exactly. Yeah. Here we go again.
I'm not into it.
Yeah. That's pretty much the situation. I feel like you had a segment on the YouTube channel. Check it out. How we talk about getting upset with multiplayer games. I think people are just stupider in some instances. They're selfish, and I think that people are locking in to play the game they want to play and then forcing what's around them. They you log in to be a selfish jerk off. That's all I gotta say. And you know what? Just play by yourself. Play with bots. Why you gotta make me miserable too? You know.
But getting back to Wuchang, I really like it. I do think that if you like Soulslikes and you like, say, Sekiro or Neo or Wuchang, you'll like this. You really will like this. I think there are a handful of bosses that will drive you crazy, because there are a lot of skill checks in that game. But again, it gives you the tools to get around those. That said,
that sounds cool. And speaking of tool tips not to get around, so I think Mastercard and Visa, they're just really stopping us from buying what we want, huh? It's getting out of hand, isn't it?
Yeah. It sucks. Essentially, Mastercard and Visa's payment processor that we talked about last week, about basically where they hit Steam, has now hit itch.io. And unfortunately for itch.io, when they get their games delisted, it also removes it from the creators. So the ones who made the game no longer have it in their inventory. And that also makes it the problem, because now they can no longer get their payouts. So that is a big problem, especially if you're a creator at itch.io, hoping that you get paid for the game that you make and that people buy from you.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting, though, is itch.io actually went and gave a statement on the entire thing. So let me pull that up.
I can tell you what. So basically what happened is, the first statement was, they basically said, hey, look, all the games we moved were under the NSF, not safe for work banner, and we do apologize for doing that, but there was no way for us to go ahead and do, basically go after each game, because we don't have enough people, and that's not how the system is set up, and that's why Steam can do it, but we can't, which is that's complete BS. The second one was, they're working on getting that reversed so they can get some of these games back, and they can make people happy and satisfy the payment processor. I also think that they're trying to find a payment processor who does allow 18 plus content.
It's really painful right now, because it's people talk about Stripe and other companies, but the thing about with Mastercard and Visa, they have been affecting itch.io. They threatened Steam, Valve. They've also been ruining other websites like Fansly, OnlyFans, and just any other place that if you find NSFW content. And
the problem I have with this, though, is it goes even deeper than that, Matt. Even deeper.
Well,
the problem with all this is how it started, how it came from, and it also came from a group, an Australian-based group called Collective Shout. Them basically saying, "Hey, there's content out there we don't like. They've been doing this for different things, commercials, everything, pretty much everything. We don't like adult content. We're basically raising a banner saying we're protecting females, but they're really not. They don't care about certain groups. and they have an agenda, and that's basically it. So they reached out to Steam. Steam pretty much was like, leave us alone. We know what we're doing. We have categories. We're doing our job. So then they went after credit card processors to put some leverage on them for them to go against other places and say, hey, take your stuff down. Apparently what they're saying now is we didn't approach each to remove
Stuff.
We only want them to remove the stuff that had rape and incest, but because they don't have proper systems in place, they removed everything. Now, the problem I have with this is I don't believe that, because think about that for a second. The ramifications of that. If they're going after adult content, which it's not up to a payment process to tell me what they can and cannot go after. I agree there are certain things that shouldn't exist. Yes. But this goes down more than just that. What about
right?
What about
it's like I said earlier. This is using money to be moral arbiters. It's disgusting because it's like, here you are telling another person what they can spend on money as long as it doesn't do harm. I thought that was the basic premise. They break that, and the thing that makes it even more disgusting is like the fact they're pushing this on so many things. As I was going to say earlier, like NSFW content. They're pushing this on, like, if you buy OnlyFans, things like that, and it's like, how is it your business what I buy? Like, that's just weird. It's like, at this point, do I even own my money? This is disgusting. It's disgusting. And like, but
like I mentioned, I don't have a problem with you trying to stop certain things. I get that. Rape and incest games, they shouldn't exist. That's my stand.
My think about that is like context, because if that was the case, Mouthwashing is a game that deals with sexual assault and talks about.
And that's my thing. They deal with it exactly. That should not have gotten.
That's the thing. So it's like, at that point, these people aren't even being in good faith to believe in the second half of that statement we're getting into. So it's like,
there are so many games that got affected that weren't what they were saying, but they got swept under the rug. There are things that were addressing adult themes. And they just like, oh, sorry, goodbye. And it's BS because we want this removed. We want it gone. And it's like,
right.
I get the bad, but why wasn't this done properly? And
100%.
For each IO to go say, hey, we're just going to remove everything because reasons, that's wrong. It's wrong in so many ways.
Right.
So many ways.
And
so many things that were affected that had nothing to do with it. Oh, you deal with adult themes. You're gone.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
And I want to say a positive thing about this is like, so basically there has been a big movement on various social medias of people putting like, here's how you call Visa, Mastercard, how you send emails. So
yes.
Visa, Mastercard has been receiving tons of emails, tons of complaints. They're finally beaten up, and they said you can't do this. And it has been super successful. Like it's like Reddit, Blue Sky. I've seen some on TikTok. I've seen some on Instagram, and they have been successful. They like, here are full phone numbers. Call them, get in queue, drop an email, ruin these people's lives. Jokingly, not ruin, but just straight up complain about it. And now these people they can't do their jobs, being gummed up. And these are really, really good effects. And I deeply support this. I support this. They tell you to contact Visa. They tell you to contact MasterCard. Contact Stripe. They tell you to contact even other credit people like Squaresoft, others. And I'm like, you know what? This is proper activism. I support this. And I'm okay with this because this is something that disgusts me. Again, at a moral level, because you guys know I'm an accountant. I usually don't care about people's money. Some people do, but it's like, if I buy something and it hasn't done any harm, mind your business. As long as the content in it of itself isn't explicitly harmful, like how to make a rocket launcher, I think that's fine.
I don't know about that, but
I mean, you don't want people buying manuals how to make a rocket launcher, okay? I don't think people having rocket launchers are good for society.
The implications of having people be able to make weapons of mass destruction is kind of a problem. I do have a problem.
That's a whole different thing, but yeah, you get the idea. Yeah,
I do have a problem with an organization using their agenda and being so vocal to cause this kind of thing, especially when they're not a part of a government and pretty much they're getting their way. Because This is censorship, and there's no
Yeah.
point. There's no way of showing or telling you
No, exactly. Like,
where is it going to go.
Yeah, this is the double. Like I said, like these people who support this are, I think, should get their teeth kicked in, because it's like, you're telling me that your rights is worth more than mine. Since when? Who are you? Like,
Wait,
in my
so-
words,
so-
I'd be like, who are you?
So check this out. Before you listen to this, I was thinking about this. I was literally sitting here and talking about this to myself earlier. So say they got away with this, and they pretty much did. So it's up to Visa, Mastercard to roll this shit back. But what happens now? They go, hey, you know, we got this done, so let's go after other things. What if they had a problem with games depicting violence?
Oh, yay!
We can't
And
have,
you give them a little
fighting
Yeah,
game
keep going
anymore.
up, yeah.
We can't have that anymore. We can't have that anymore. We can't have beat 'em ups anymore. We can't have this depicting any kind of violence against a woman. And I'm not saying that that's right, but this is not real. This is a fighting game. This is animated. We've been doing this shit for decades,
for years. Yeah,
Yeah.
No more.
And-
you want to
and
say
that- and yeah,
you don't,
exactly,
you
and
don't want
that-
this to be a thing anymore? You want that
right.
going?
It brought it, and by the way, by doing this, it also hurt the market. Less people be buying stuff. You're telling a capitalist company to, like, yeah, you need to stop this for my moral reasons so you can have less money. Are you stupid? Anywho, like I said,
Not to mention the other thing I have against them is you said you only care about one particular gender. It's just one gender. We don't care about. You can do it. You could take a electric screwdriver, ram it up a guy's ass. We don't care. It's fine. We
do the inverse. Yeah, the inverse. Yeah.
No. If you want to do this, you need to cover everything, and that shows you right there that you have an agenda. We don't care about other things. We only care about what we think is the right thing. Again, you're forcing
being the
your
moral
ideology
arbiters,
on somebody.
Yeah. And that's the part that, like, pisses me off, like, exceptionally, because it's like, you're being moral arbiters, whatever, because people have their own moral systems. What I think some people's moral systems worse than others. Let's just call that a fact. But the crappy part about it's like, let me get this straight. You're going to tell people, or try to, or as you're doing, to tell people how to spend their money. The money they earn by working. Who are you? Like, look, man, if a guy jokingly works a 20-hour work shift and he buys Honey Pop, that's his money. I don't really care, man. Honey Pop is whatever, man. I don't know why people love that series, but it's them, right? Who are you? And I just find it disgusting. I just find the whole thing disgusting. I think it's like, I hope the people protesting actively, ruin Mastercard Visa. I hope they get them out of this, because it's like, I don't understand this very weird moralist, like, controlling way to people's incomes. If you want to live a life where you don't drink alcohol or smoke whatever, that's a personal choice. That's called straight edge in some circles. But if you want to live a life where you have certain rules on yourself, where you don't do these certain things, that's you. If you try to make other people do that, that's not happening. That's called authoritarianism. That's it. That's the answer.
Say that last part again, please.
If you try to enforce your rules that you think is good for yourself and people, that's authoritarianism. That's the answer.
Hey, welcome to America.
Yeah.
It's
from Bosnia.
dystopian. Just having.
I'm from
it sucks.
Bosnia. Take me to America. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, Sony is going to be hurting when they're going to be delivering some hurting when they sue Tencent over Tencent's new game called Light of Moritam. And I'll probably get more details about this. So, Tencent, I believe at some point was handed a Sony project. I don't know what project that was, but it was a project. I can always be wrong about it, because I'm not like, I don't know. I don't follow Tencent as much. I'm not really into Tencent. I think Tencent's a company that should be deleted because the things they do to the gaming industry is bad. And I mean that seriously. I think they're just bad. They're just really bad. Like, as much as crap I give Microsoft for being stupid, at least they not as bad as Tencent. Because Tencent will, like, unironically, like, nuke an entire, like, 6 publishers to make 5 pennies. That is not even me joking. They would do that. They would nuke 5 AAA companies to make 5 pennies. But anywho, so they had access to Sony stuff, and apparently they're making their own game, as I said, Light of Moritam, which is very close to Horizon series. Now, all the information we have now is based on Reuters, and Sony has made a deposition saying that in its complaint, they declined to offer Tencent to collaborate on a new Horizon game last year. So Tencent and Sony were working on Horizon. Sony said no. Tencent later announced Light of Moritam, which Sony says has features identical gameplay, story themes, and artistic elements from Horizon, as well as many other similarities. And because of this, they're going to sue Tencent. So how do we feel about this?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I guess to give some clarification, back about a year ago was when Sony was looking around for we're looking for publishers and developers to help them out with an MMO for Horizon. And they received a few people and companies that asked about it. I'm guessing this is where Tencent was wanting to collaborate on it, and that's what they got turned down. And the info that we have is that the company that eventually did get the okay to work with them was NCSoft, who are the company behind the Guild Wars series. So they already are very well known in like the MMO spaces for those who are into the Guild Wars games.
I could never get into those games. I tried so hard.
Some people really like the Guild Wars. I'm not gonna lie.
So that is my guess of when they probably made their own like assets and textures to give to Sony to basically be like, this is how we want to do your game that you are looking for collaborators for. And then they just took those assets and they probably just made this game with it. And that's probably what started this game itself, at least. But it's funny when you look at the details of the actual document that Sony submitted for the lawsuit, because they went into very extensive detail comparing the designs, the world, the main character themselves, of just showing how this character is just like Aloy with less, basically with less textures on it. And this world, it looks almost exactly the same as the world of Horizon. This monster looks basically the same as this monster. And they even did intricate details of the textures. And they're just like, yeah, this is the exact texture of this. It's just like either you somehow just created Horizon yourselves, or you got textures from our own game.
Yeah, I remember seeing this last year, and I was like, wow, this looks like Horizon. And the creatures are just like, wow, okay, these are very similar, even to like some of the landscapes. Like, what is going on here? Did Sony work with them? Of course, find out later on. No, they didn't.
Nope.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how this, first of all, plays out in court. And second of all, again, as I mentioned earlier, this is a Chinese developer. Who cares, right? Are they going to go? No, $1 billion.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna do this thing where I do. So this case is happening in America. If this is proven in America, they said they have to pay fines in America, which Sony will have to remove their chances to sell the game in America. Now, if they can repeat this court case in other Western countries such as Europe and Canada, which are like one of the three biggest sales of it, they will lose money on it. Now, they can only sell the game to themselves in China. They can't sell it to Japan. Imagine trying to sell other places. The thing is that you're making this court case as examples so they can't sell other markets. It's not about like, yeah, you can make the game, whatever. Like, I can make Mugen, but I can't sell Mugen because I'll get sued by a bunch of other people, not just Capcom. But I'll get sued. That's the point.
The question I have is the question we were talking about earlier is this game is also supposedly, if it runs its course and it actually happens, right? It's supposed to get released on the PlayStation. Could PlayStation technically go, no, we still think you blatantly copied us and we're not putting it on our platform? And if they did this, could Tencent go and say they are not putting our game on because they have some kind of prejudice against us? And could they?
No. This is how you're not listening to what I say.
No, I'm asking hypothetically.
Oh, hypothetically, no, because my court case gives you precedent that you copied my game to sell it back to me, and you stole my assets to make it without my permission.
No, what I said is
listen. So, if they try to sell it on my platform and the court case is happening, they cannot countersue that because they already have precedent the first time. The only reason they have to get something else with it. So if Sony, which I'm assuming they win or they don't win, they win the case, they win the court case. If they win, this is scenario A. They win, they box them out of selling it in the country of America, and probably would use the same thing I said earlier, so they can't sell it in Canada let's say Mexico, let's say Canada, Europe, and let's say Japan. Those are large markets. And then they have to fight the copyright laws in those stations, blah, blah, blah. They can't sell it. Now, that's scenario A. Scenario B, if they lose,
that's what I said. If they lose.
Yeah, if they lose, right. Scenario B, if they lose, God, this is going to be a hard one. So if they lose, Sony can still say, no, I don't want to put your game on my platform. I'm not selling it. That's also a price they have to do because not everyone is, I hate to say it, like, well, it's all about money anyway. It's never about money. It's much more than money. It's about relationships. So that's one thing. So they can say no. And they say no, they'll say why. And they'll be like, why? Because you took my assets. What I was proven in court. And they said that, what if we bring it to a second civil court to dispute that? They can bring a secondary dispute. Not really.
No, I said what happens if they win, PlayStation loses, and they win, and they try to sell it on PlayStation, and PlayStation says no. That was what I was asking.
It can go, yeah, as I said, they can go to a second court. If they decide to go that way, maybe not. They can go to a second court if they get appeal. Sony can still refuse sales because they can just do that. Again, at the end of the day, it's a business decision. It's not all that. Now, the weird part about it would be the president itself. It says, if B happens, I don't want B to happen. I think B will be a very bad timeline because this is my honest opinion. Let's say their competitors, home competitors, the other guy, Microsoft is willing to publish it, right? Right? I know all the Microsoft fanboys would be like, what? Because they're driven by pettiness. They hate Sony. I get it. You hate Sony. I get it. They do that. They would also lose a lot of, I would say, PR. It could be a PR disaster. It depends what PR machine you puts at the time. Nintendo wouldn't do it because Nintendo won't get involved in drama like that. They don't. Nintendo is pretty picky on who they work with as third parties anyway. I mean, Scott knows he's a Nintendo fan. I'm a Nintendo fan. We know, they're the most. These people are the most. I'm going to say this out here. Any third-party developer that's interested with Nintendo, you have a much better chance to make your own game. Okay, they don't feel like they don't want to work with people because they don't like people. Okay, they'll say hi to you in the hallway, and that's the best you're going to get. So if they decide to do that, if they go to Valve and do that, Valve is safe enough where they could do it. But what if it depends if Valve is safe enough to do it? So PC would be the only market they could do it in. But that's probably it. Because I worry that Microsoft is worried about their image if they do this. Valve doesn't care. So that's the only option if they lose. If they lose, they can only go to PC if Sony refuses it. Because Sony's like, I don't want to work with someone who stole my crap, And by the way, it's not always business. It's personal. Personal, man. It's personal.
I don't know if it could actually go to PC, though, too. Because say they lose and they go, you know what, we don't care, and we're going to go try and publish a game on Valve, and then Valve goes, okay, sure, no problem, and then PlayStation goes, hey, by the way, that stolen assets.
There we go. You said thinking cap. That's exactly. Yay! There we go. I thought you got there. You got there and did that. I'm proud of you. Got that thinking cap. But yeah, stolen assets, right? And which, by the way, they could open a court case with that again. See, this is the immense pettiness you can do. This is the immense pettiness you can do in a legal situation. I'm not saying you should do it, but you can do it.
Like I said, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess, and it's kind of weird that Tencent even did this.
I feel like it's a big fu. It's literally a big fu. This is the biggest fu I've ever seen in my life.
You should have let us do your MMO.
Yeah, and they're like, no, we don't. Stop it. Get some help. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy in that regard. Mm-hmm. Personally, I think that if my honest opinion is that there is a possibility, which by the way, A and B doesn't happen. There's a C. There's a settlement, and the settlement requires they'll pay you, or I think Sony will pay them, but confirm destruction of all assets used in that game. I'll pay you to remove it.
And or you can pull a Nintendo and just get royalties off the game.
Right. They can do that too, but that means that a very dark opening happening. That hey, if I copy your game, I'll just pay royalties, and it's I don't think people will like that. I personally don't think Sony would like the idea that somebody copied my game and I got to get a check from. No, that's
Going back to Tencent, I was thinking about, so this is not the first time that Tencent has gone to court for copying somebody's game. One of their most popular games is a copy off of League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not the first time for them.
No, it's not.
I think they did one that was a copy off a what is it?
They did one
PUBG.
that was of Genshin.
PUBG.
And PUBG.
PUBG, yeah.
So
it's just kind of crazy. I just find it wild for like Tencent again in boils, and I feel like Tencent's just trying to be as bold as they can, in my opinion. They're trying to be bold as they can to see what they get away with. But it also disgusts me because they have enough money to do so. And again, they will burn AAA companies for this and get 5 pennies on the dollar. And I feel like Tencent is the new quote unquote final boss bad guy evil guy of the gaming industry right now, because it's like, look, we can always laugh at Microsoft, blah blah blah. Look at Microsoft, is so silly. We can laugh at AAA publishers like EA and Ubisoft. Haha, they're stupid. But the real evil bad guy is Tencent. Tencent is just growing, and their evil they do is going to be crazy because they keep pushing those boundaries. And I'm not saying they're winning, but the fact they're doing it is kind of hilarious. I'm like, I can't mess with that. That's doom and gloom on my end. Do you feel about that, Keith? You feel like Tencent's like the real villain of the scene right now?
I've already expressed my frustration with that company multiple times. I don't like a majority of the tactics that they employ.
Yeah,
and it's a problem. And the fact that they're backed by the Chinese government is kind of a problem.
No, 100%. Yeah, exactly. It's scary because it's like these guys are just unironically super bad. They have this, and it's like, again, people joke about, haha, Ubisoft sucks, Microsoft, LOL, EA. Like, yes, these guys are bad and dumb, but what if they were evil and competent? And I point at Tencent. That's where I point to.
they've already copied a handful of games. I would call that incompetent.
Exactly. Yeah. No. They're evil and incompetent. They're evil and competent because they keep pushing it, and they're willing to burn companies to eat the loss because they want to see how far they push. That's what it's like to be truly, truly evil. So I'll leave it off on that one. I don't want them growing any further. I don't know. I feel scared for these guys. The
scary thing is also the foothold that Tencent has in a lot of companies.
Yeah.
A lot of companies people don't realize Tencent has stock in.
Yep.
And it's scary.
Yep. Let's not get any more doomer about this. We had a great podcast. I think it was some cool stuff we talked about. Let us know what you think with Flow. Let us know what you think about Tencent, payment processing, 2xKO, or you're just playing Marvel Token Souls. So
Censorship
is fun. Censorship is fun. Let us know what you think about Wuchang. Keith's been uploading so much content on it. If you haven't, like the videos, drop a comment. He's been pumping out.
Too many videos.
Yeah, he's been
pumping really knows.
Yeah, he's done worse. Like I've done 6-hour streams of Final Fantasy. Trust me, this guy's doing work. Let us know what you think about Sony's new job posting. You think everyone's going for exclusivity, blah blah blah. How do you feel about it? It's an emotional argument, and I can't get with that. I just think it's an emotional argument that it's hard to defend or even prescribe, because at the end of the day, how do I tell somebody that this thing you have isn't yours? And some people are just not cool with that as a mental factor. So that's the whole thing. And let us know in the comments below if you think OuterWorlds 2 is the M, the Microsoft Mismanaged Marketing project. Because it's just I feel like Obsidian is a good company, but all these mismanagers doesn't sound like something they would do. Why would they do this? Let us know what you think below. And be sure to follow us on Blue Sky, YouTube. Check out the Spectator Mode Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, where podcasts are hosted. This is Get Serious. Keith and Scott signing out, and we hope to see you guys in the next one.
See ya.